Hey, so I'm going to read a few more chapters of Marshfield Dreams. The next chapter is called Teeth. Mom had a tooth bank shaped like a coconut. When one of our teeth came out, she washed off the blood and deposited the tooth in. Why are you saving our teeth? Jimmy wanted to know. Because, she smiled at him. They're precious to me, and so are you. Great Grandma came to visit 2 or 3 times a year. She was old and tiny. Great Grandma always wore a gray sweatshirt way too big for her and smelled like ginger snap cookies that she baked. She put whole chunks of ginger into the cookies, so when I bit into them, they made my eyes water. I loved her with all my heart and pretended to love those cookies so I wouldn't hurt her feelings. Great Grandma had a slow walk, and I liked to secretly follow her as she moved through the house, out or into the yard. Her hearing wasn't very good, so she never knew when I was spying on her. Early one morning, I heard her outside my bedroom going downstairs. I waited until she reached the bottom stair before I got out of bed and followed her. She padded into the kitchen, dressed in slippers and the gray sweatshirt. What was she doing? Getting a snack? Making coffee? Moving closer, careful to stay out of sight, I saw her go into the pantry. I was amazed when she came out holding the tooth bank. She unscrewed the rubber plug on the bottom, emptied some teeth into her hand, and went out the back door. I knew if I followed too closely, she'd catch me spying, so I eased out the front door and ran around the house. The grass was cold, wet, shocked my bare feet. Stealing from tree to tree, I saw Great Grandma go into the garage. A minute later, she came out carrying a trowel and then went to the vegetable garden in the back of the house. I crept up until I was about 30 feet away, close enough to see her kneel down and start digging a hole in the ground. She put one of the teeth into the hole, covered it with dirt, and patted it down. She did the same thing 3 more times. Then she turned around and moved slowly back toward the house. I made myself wait 5 minutes, then 5 minutes more before going to the garden spot where she planted our teeth. I don't know what I expected to see. Finally, I went inside and snuck up to my bedroom. I never told anybody about this, and Great Grandma never said anything, but I had a million questions in my head. Did she plant the teeth figuring they'd bring good luck to our house? Did she think they'd fertilize the tomatoes? Was she just plain crazy? Nothing unusual sprouted in the garden that summer, but every time I went past that spot, I'd check to see if one of those teeth had taken root in the soil and started to grow. All right, the next chapter is called Words. Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. That's what everyone said, but was it true? Words were tricky. They seemed to have a secret life of their own. Mom wrote the word here and showed me the word ear that was hidden within it. That was cool. Sometimes a word had its own disguise with a sound that didn't tell you which one it was. You could hear the word see, but it might actually really be C, S-E-A, or even the letter C. The same with bear, B-A-R-E, and bear, B-E-A-R, red, R-E-D, and red, R-E-A-D. I was fascinated by swears too, curse words. You could have a perfectly respectable word like ship, but change one letter at the end and you might get your mouth washed out with soap. One day, Freddie Black, a kid who lived down the street, came to my house and taught me the worst swear you could possibly say. He said it to me just as my father came out of the garage, grunting under the weight of the storm windows he was carrying on his back. Dad hadn't heard, but the swear hung in the air like a bad smell. I felt guilty learning a nasty word like that while my father was working so hard. Can I help? I asked Dad later that afternoon. He was outside the garage dusting off the screen windows. Sure thing, he said, handing me a whisk broom. The day had grown cold and windy. The dirt I brushed off got blown back into my face. Hey, Dad, I asked, if you say Jesus, is that a swear? Depends on how you say it, he replied. If you just say the name Jesus, that's okay. But if you take the Lord's name in vain, that's a swear and it's wrong. The trees sighed in the breeze. I had always wondered exactly what that meant. Take the Lord's name in vain. The wind blew again, a gust strong enough to twist the screen out of my hands. Jesus, I yelled. With that, Dad grabbed my arm angrily swatted my bottom and sent me into the house. My bottom hurt, but my feelings hurt even worse. Maybe words couldn't hurt you, but they sure could get you in trouble.